We had a downtrend. The market is driven by supply and demand as far as I know. Earlier, it was a resistance level. We entered, made profit, and earned $400. Japanese candlesticks not only depict the dynamic changes in stock prices on a price chart, but also serve as indicators signaling possible price trend reversals or continuations. One of these indicators is hammer candlestick. Hello everyone, my name is Mary and I'm a trader, the best trader. Today we will discuss the theory behind the most well-known pattern and see how it performs in practice. The hammer is a classic reversal pattern. It forms at the bottom of a price chart and signals impending changes in the market. The probability of the asset's price rising after the appearance of a hammer on the chart increases. Criteria for the hammer candlestick. The graphical figure of the hammer consists of a single Japanese candlestick. It visually resembles a real hammer with a handle and the striking part. The long lower shadow of the candle represents the handle, while the small body represents the striking part. For a Japanese candlestick to be identified as a hammer, it must meet certain criteria. The body of the candle should be small. Complete absence is allowed. The body can be of any color, red or green. The length of the lower shadow of the candlestick should be 2-3 times greater than the body of the candle. Features of analyzing the hammer candlestick. A strong signal is provided by the candlestick pattern with no upper shadow. As the upper shadow increases, the strength of the pattern weakens. Conversely, a long lower shadow strengthens the candlestick. However, an excessive long lower shadow may indicate market panic. The effectiveness of the hammer is higher when it forms after a prolonged downtrend. The market at the time of its formation should be in an oversold condition. The hammer is not self-sufficient. Its trading signal requires confirmation. Technical indicators or bullish candlestick patterns that form after the hammer can confirm the pattern's signal. All these features must be taken into account. Let's see how the hammer pattern performs in the real market, the US dollar and Japanese yen currency pair. Let's open it right away and enter a trade. We will enter for 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, with $500 and go for an increase. Now let's return to the trending view. What do we see here? Let me expand the chart to the full screen. We had a downtrend. EMA 50 also shows us that we had a downtrend. After that, we have this figure forming. Let me highlight it. So what does it tell us? We see a very large shadow and a very small body, or more precisely, a very large lower shadow and a very small body. In the case of a green hammer, which means it is bullish, the trend prior to that was downward. We expect a market reversal towards an upward movement. So if we were going down all the time, now I expect the same upward movement. Approximately it will look like this. The hammer is quite a strong pattern in technical analysis. It works well almost 95% of the time, so it works well. It worked well in the past and is working well now because it shows the fundamental essence of the market, which is either a lack of buyers or sellers. The market is driven by supply and demand as far as I know. And this hammer, if we consider the current situation, in the current example, if we take this hammer, it gives us an understanding that there is already a lack of sellers and buyers are prevailing. What does it mean? If buyers prevail, the chart will rise because there is no one to sell. In other words, if everyone is buying, the chart goes up, and if everyone is selling, the chart goes down, which is clear to everyone. And here we have a very good observation as well. There are a lot of dodgy candles. I will also make a video about them. These are reversal patterns that have reversed the market. Plus, we have a small level here, meaning we see, let me draw it now. Here, we see a rejection right here. Let me draw it a bit more beautifully, a rejection here. Earlier, it was a resistance level, and now it's a mirror level, meaning we have several confirmations for the current trade. Let's see. There is just about 1.5 minutes left. At the current moment, the trade is performing perfectly. I don't see any reason for it to close at a loss because the hammer is fairly strong pattern. Yes, sometimes these are false hammers, but they are extremely rare. If we compare it with other patterns, the hammer is the most profitable and accurate candlestick pattern. So if we look at the history, we had a decline, and then a hammer formed. So the main structure is a small body and a long shadow. We see a small body and a long shadow, and right after that we have a bullish candle. Therefore, all we have left is to wait for the result of the current trade. And summarized. There is just about half a minute left. As we can see, our trade is closing perfectly in profit. As I mentioned, nothing could have hindered us. An important note, if you are trading based on the hammer pattern, it is very important to wait for confirmation. So we need at least this one green candle, which would be equivalent to the red candle before the hammer. What I mean is, we should have this formation. In other words, we see a red candle of a certain size, then a hammer, and a green candle that is exactly the same size as the red one. It should not be smaller. It can be larger or exactly the same size as the red one. If it's smaller, we need to wait for another candle. That is, we need to surpass this red candle that was before the hammer. If we surpass it, it's an ideal signal for a buy. Well, in our case, for a buy. And you may have noticed that I entered the trade during this candle. I saw that it was already covering and it would cover this red candle. We entered, made profit, and earned $400. The hammer candlestick is one of the basic patterns in financial market analysis. Its appearance on the chart serves as a good signal for a possible market reversal towards price growth. However, to successfully use candlestick pattern signals in real trading, it's necessary to learn to analyze their characteristics and apply them in practice. It's not difficult at all. I have just explained everything to you in detail. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and comment. Also, follow my Telegram channel where I conduct live sessions with subscribers.